And good morning, everyone, or good afternoon to some of you. I think, I don't know if you're sitting there having coffee or a donut or about to have lunch, but, really the core of this is that, projects come down to more of the mechanics that we just learned about being project managers and tasks and, managing project plans and schedules and costs and finances. It's about the people, at the core of it, at the root of it. Yes, of course, there's technology or construction or government or processes, but people are just such a big thing. So, when it comes to projects, it's just, never lose sight of those people, and if I go through, just give me 1 second, okay. Just a little bit about myself. I think you guys kind of got a good overview of me, so I'm just going to kind of jump right into it. I've been at Computer Aid a few years now. Before that, I spent a few decades at Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines. So I kind of have a breadth and depth of hospitality and cruise and travel. It's not about the donuts, it's about the people. Like I said, it is about schedules and budgets and everything else, but, never lose sight of those people. When you look at something like, as far as, projects go and as far as motivation of the team, it's really, the people are really key. So, the donuts is just kind of a way to kind of, highlight the personal aspect of things. But then sometimes, some people might disagree, like Homer Simpson, of course. I think for him, it's definitely more about the donuts. So, when you look at a project, you have the infamous, the triple constraints. You look at scope, schedule, budget, qualities being pulled in one direction or another depending on, the factors in play, whether it's scope or schedule or, you could be going over budget, something could be taking longer. You could have scope creep, the infamous scope creep that we run across constantly. And, when you look at the project, this is a very well-known aspect of project management. I think every one of you or, probably 99% of all project managers have heard of that triple constraint and those factors that come into play. And, what happened is if you look at, kind of the mechanical side of projects, but you take it a step further and you start looking at, a little bit of the psychology behind things. There was this gentleman, Abraham Maslow, who came up with this concept of the hierarchy of needs back in the 40s, I believe. And, it applies a lot to our daily lives. It applies to a variety of careers and people and just humans in general. And even animals may have a certain, relation here as well. And you look at, how do you map this to projects, right? You look at, the basic needs. Okay, you're eating donuts, right? People are looking for, do they have a good job? They're looking for, being on a good team. There's a lot of individual contributors. There's a lot of people that, are okay working by themselves. But you'll find that, there's a lot of magic to people being on a team or people being part of a greater cause, whether it's from a social perspective or cultural perspective or a project perspective. You have people that are moving together, whether they're working very tightly together or at least driving towards the same goal. Today and nowadays it's, we have dispersed teams all around the world. From a CAI perspective, we have dozens of offices around the country. We have teams really dispersed around the world in a lot of cases, as do a lot of companies and especially, IT consulting and service providers. So people want to be on a good team. They want to achieve. They want to succeed. They want to be part of something, greater. They want to have those new and exciting opportunities. So, you look at the triple constraint and you kind of map that over to the hierarchy of needs a little bit, and you can see there's a lot of factors in play. A lot of it starts with that basic connection, right? And understanding really what is it that people want? What are their needs and wants? From a project manager, one thing is you're always looking at the plan, you're tracking progress, you're measuring the success in a variety of different ways, whether it's, financially or whether it's from a time perspective or whether it's even customer satisfaction and how happy your customer and the recipient of the project deliverable at the time may be. But, take a step back and look at your people. Look at the people that are part of the team and the team members and try to understand their needs and wants. A lot of people, they want new and exciting opportunities. They want to, achieve and succeed. They want to be part of a good team. They, of course, want to have a good job. They need to provide for their family and children if they have them or, their pets, et cetera. And then, they need to eat. People have that core fundamental side of things as far as, nourishment. Sometimes one of the biggest things a project manager can do is, if people are working during lunch, buy them lunch. Even though it's a very minimal expense, sometimes it's just a thought, So if you look at needs and wants, how do you figure them out? There's a variety of different ways. There's the psychological side of things. You can determine them by asking the person. Sometimes the person may not know what they want, and that's kind of where coaching comes into play and, development and personal development or, helping that person maybe see what it is that they're after where they can't see the forest through the trees. So, you can ask the person. You can ask others. With project management, the matrix is alive and well, and the borrowing of resources and the assigning of resources from across an organization that could be working on 10 different things. So, asking others what really motivates that person. Sometimes the productivity of an individual could skyrocket if they're allowed to work at home on Fridays or, something like, showing appreciation. Observe the person, see what, makes them tick and what really motivates them, what gets a smile on their face. And, of course, there's the infamous body language. Sometimes it's really easy to discern, what is driving people and what people are really after. So, to do that, making a connection is really key. Making a connection with your people and your team and really understanding what makes them tick. It's not simply, what did you do today and, did you accomplish your task? It's, what are you doing this weekend and, when's your next vacation? And, try to look at the human side of things as well. And, if you look at different quotes throughout the ages, it's funny, but, you look at some of these, and a lot of these do really gel and make sense. Sometimes, food moves people in a variety of different ways. I've been through situations where, the team may have to work late. Back when I was at Royal Caribbean, we could be delivering a new ship, and, when it's a cruise ship, it has that first revenue cruise when passengers come on board the ship for the first time ever. And, that date's not going to change, and everything works backward from that date. So you look at, what can you do to really motivate the team, and what can you do to take one less stressor away. And I use the lunch example a lot, or, I was just in a morning meeting the other day with one of our customers out here in California, and, it was early. It was first thing, 9 a.m. No one likes 9 a.m. meetings, right? So, I came in, I got the donuts, I had the coffee. Of course, never forget the napkins. You always need a lot of napkins when you bring in the donuts. And, I could tell, it was like, wow, how thoughtful of this person to bring in a, dozen donuts for a team that's, busily working at 9 a.m. So little things like that, they pay dividends as you move forward. And, you can see from these quotes, it's everything from entertainment, which is near and dear to me, to, religion and, philosophy and even literature and writing. So the donuts, it allows a simple connection. It's, someone may not even like donuts, but I don't know, I haven't met anyone that hasn't had a donut or know what a donut is. So there's a little bit universal about a donut. And, of course, the Simpsons are definitely a global brand in a lot of different ways. And, I don't know if I've met anyone who doesn't know who Homer is. So, there's the science behind it. There's the food aspect. There's the, breaking of bread, if you will, in certain cultures and religions. There's the, connection and just the thought behind it, the appreciation. It's saying, wow, that person is helping me nurture one of my more basic needs. So, there's a little bit of the psychological thing. And then the bond, we see the bond in a variety of different ways, whether it's religious or cultural or even social. People break for lunch, whether it's the, Congress or the Senate, there's this, they're going to have lunch together, and normally people sit at tables with people that they, have some kind of connection with, so it kind of brings it down to, even a more basic level. But in some cases, and this goes back to the motivation of things, people don't care about the donuts. They don't care about free lunches. They'd rather have the money that you would